In Fusion 360, it's pretty simple to do letter engraving and, well, all kinds of engraving. But we're going to start out today by looking at putting letters onto one of your components that you've made in order that you can then go and program some engraving. It's pretty easy. We're going to create a sketch first of all, so on a flat surface. So I'm going to pick this big area in the middle of this plate. So I'm going to go create sketch on that surface. All right. Now, once I'm in there in this sketch, I can go create text right here. Creates text inside a rectangular frame or along a selected path. All right, so text, and I'm going to just click, drag, and click again. So what's going to happen is this is where my text is going to appear in this area. Now we can modify that later on, but that's in general, that's what this looks like. There are all different kinds of fonts. You can just go through and kind of have fun with that, but I start with something pretty simple. Arial works really great for engraving text. So that's what I generally use. So I'm just going to put down, I don't know, Engrave Text. Right? Pretty simple. Now, to me, these letters seem pretty close to each other. In addition, I don't quite like the height of them. I want to bring it down just a little bit. So I'm going to change the height of it to 0.375. All right, there we go. I like that better. The other thing I can do is I can center align the text if I want within that box. That makes it kind of nice. And character spacing can help us out quite a bit. So try to look and see the spacing from here to here between the letters. And if I click on character spacing and I just give it a number like 10, I'm just going to put 10. See how that just bumped out a little bit? And if I go back, that goes, I go 20, it's even more, right? So I'm going to go 10 on my character spacing. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Click OK, finish sketch, and that is done. Now, what if I want to do something different to that? If I want to change it, no big deal. I double click on the sketch down the bottom to reactivate it. And then I go and put my mouse pointer over part of the text and double click on the text itself. And then that window will come up again. And you can change this. I want to change it to engraving instead. And if I said, oh, I don't like the Arial and I want to do something a little bit different, I try this and see what that looks like. And so on and so on, right? So we can really, there's probably hundreds of different fonts in here. You can even do, something fancy like this, Edwardian script. There's a lot of different scripts. So it's pretty nice. I mean, you can do different things with like that. The other thing you can do is you can, if you needed to, make sure to keep this thing nice and stable. I'm just going to hit escape. So this right now can be moved all over the place, and it can be actually twisted at an angle. If you're worried about that happening, you can click on horizontal vertical and force that to be vertical all the time. That way, escape again. If I do move this thing around, I cannot move it at an angle. It's always going to stay straight. So that's a good idea. I like to do that. The other thing is you can, if you really want to get, specific about how far something is from an edge, you could always dimension from the edge to this and say, oh, I need this 0.9 down from here. But, you don't always have to do that. A lot of times with text, it's not quite as specific as that. You just generally take this and drag the corners around until you have it where you want it. And that is usually good enough. Like if I want to center it in the part, like somewhere in here, I can just move those corners until I get it where I want. And that's really all there is to creating text. Pretty simple stuff. And from here, I might as well show you how to actually do the machining of it. It's not that bad. So I'm going to finish my sketch. I'm going to go from design space to manufacture space. And now what I'm going to do is simple 2D engraving. So click on 2D, click on engrave. Now we need a tool you need to have an engraving tool set up already. I'm going to go to my local library, and I know I have some engraving tools done, and it's got to say over here in the type engrave/chamfer. All right. What I use is 1/8 by 90 degree countersinks. So I'm going to right click and copy that tool, go over to my tools for this document, the pocket, and I'm going to right click and paste it in there. Notice this is tool 1 and the 1/2 inch end mill is tool 1. I got to change this one to tool 2. So I'll edit that tool, change my post processor to 2, accept it. Select it. Now, we're going to go over to our geometry tab and just click on the text itself and see how it selects it. Looks nice. And the bottom height, right now they're saying the bottom height goes from the top height. That's not good. I want it from the selected contour. That's where I want my bottom height to be relative to. And I'm going to go minus 0.01. It's usually a good amount to engrave. You can change it afterwards if it doesn't look quite right, but that's usually what I like to do. As far as my passes, I don't worry about that. And my linking, I don't worry about that. And it looks like it did it, but I can't quite tell until I go ahead and simulate it. So I'm going to simulate this entire thing. This is a part that I've already done a pocket in. I'm going to get through that quickly. And we'll see how the engraving goes now. Coming up. Oh, that looks good. That looks like it's going to engrave right where I want it to. And that's how you do engraving of text.